Hello, what is up? The name is Mia. Welcome to Mia is Anonymous, the podcast where I talk about feminism, womanhood, girlhood, and everything in between. Today I'm going to be talking about Nick Baumel. If you do not know who Nick Baumel is, he is, or was, I should say, he deactivated all of his accounts. He was a fourth-year med school student / influencer. So what he would do is post relatable content in regards to being a med student. So he would a lot of times make fun of like his personal experiences as a med student, how studious you have to be, how broke you become in the process of it. He would just make fun of like this. It's just like relatable med student content. He would make a lot, but he's in recent times he is facing a lot of backlash because of two videos he posted regarding women and their bodies. So the first one I am going to describe to you as best as I can, because I'm not going to post. I mean, maybe I'll take the time to actually edit my videos for once and post what the TikTok was, but I'm going to do my best to describe it. The first video was of him pretending that the camera was a woman's vulva, and he's poking around in it, poking different parts of the vulva with a stick, pretending that it's a catheter. And the whole joke is that he doesn't know where the urethra is. He doesn't know where exactly he should put the catheter because the female genitalia is very complex and there's too many parts of it. It just takes a little bit more to understand, I guess, for lack of a better word, the mechanics of a vulva. So in the TikTok, he was poking at the clitoris. He was like, oh God, the clitoris. And then he was poking at what most of us refer to as the lips. He was like, oh no, the labia majora. He goes, and then it was, the whole point was, I can't find the urethra because the woman's genitalia is way too complicated to actually know where the urethra is. So that's the whole point. And the second video, which I'm not going to be talking about as much because it's the first video that really got him into trouble. But the second video is him talking to a female patient, and their concern is that they don't know if what they're experiencing in their underwear is discharge or a yeast infection. And then he replies and comments to this made up female patient, well, Snapchat me your blank. We also refer, this word that he used is also referred to a cat, so you could put two and two together at what word he was using when he made this TikTok. So he's under fire for those two short form videos that he made. I'm sorry, I just ate and I'm really trying not to let the food coma get to me. So please be patient with me as I try to navigate my thoughts. So I think there is a bigger picture to this. I'm going to make a disclaimer here. I am not as offended by his content and the videos that were posted as a lot of other people are, for no particular reason. I just didn't find it offensive. That's just me. There's no, like I said, there's no particular reason. I am not mad if you found it offensive. I am not here to undermine your feelings or your thoughts if you did find it offensive. Me personally, if I saw this, I would have probably chuckled and moved on. Why would I have done that? Because I do think there is some truth to the idea that a woman's vulva, a woman's genitalia, is a bit more complex to understand than the male genitalia. I do think that is a common belief amongst people. I do believe that a lot of people feel that way about the woman's vulva compared to a man's genitalia. I do believe that to be the case. It's why there's like this decades-old joke about men not being able to find the clitoris. It's a joke that I've said between me and my girlfriends. It's a joke that many guys have made between each other. I've even seen so many TikToks making fun of the fact that men are just so clueless about the female anatomy that they do not have a shot of ever pleasing or satisfying a woman. I remember there was, not to expose my friends here, they don't know that I do this, and you guys have no clue who my friends are, but one of my friends, we were laughing and joking because she told me one time that a man who was trying to please her using his fingers was rubbing the inside of her thigh and really thinking that he was doing something. He thought he was actually touching her vulva, and he was nowhere near it. And we had a good laugh about that because he was really serious about rubbing her inner thigh. So I think there is like a lot of jokes that we have made as a society about how a woman's vulva, a woman's downstairs, is a little bit more complicated than a man's private part. And it's like that constant joke of, oh my God, how am I ever gonna figure this out? How am I ever gonna figure out down there? It's such a mystery. The mechanics are just so difficult. It's like, I don't know, building a gosh darn spaceship or whatever. It's that ongoing joke, and we've all made it. We've all said it at least once. I mean, I know I have. Like, I can't even lie to you guys. Like, I've been young, not really understanding my own body, not really understanding the proper terms for my own body and how many parts it actually takes to make my body, especially my genitalia. And I used to be like that kid being like, oh my God, it's just too much, it's too complicated, what is going on down there? And I feel like that is a common experience amongst young women and girls. So I do think there was a bit of truth to his video of how complex and complicated a female private part can be, a female genitalia can be. However, I do understand that it's inappropriate for a med student to do it. It's funny if it's a random frat college boy admitting that he doesn't really understand female anatomy to its fullest extent. It's another thing when it's a doctor who is going to school that will be needing to take care of female patients. So I understand the backlash. I understand why people are offended. He should know anatomy and physiology at a greater extent than the normal person. But so I understand that. And I think this, and I'm not here, I guess like the whole thing is, I am not here to add any fire to the fuel. I'm not here to add on to the backlash that he is receiving. I feel like there is enough of that. And like I said before, I'm personally not as offended by the joke as other people are. I feel like I'm just like that type of person. I know that somebody's online presence and social media presence is different than their real life. I feel like he made a big mistake. I believe that he cared way too much about virality and TikTok fame, and he should have been focusing on his studies. But I don't personally find the jokes offensive. I don't personally agree with the take that he should be expelled from medical school. I don't agree that he is completely misogynistic because of this joke. I do believe that a lot of the online backlash we are seeing is more reactionary than responsive. And I could go into a whole different video about how people are like this. I mean, I went through this with my Chapel Roan video about how people just don't take a step back before they respond to controversial things like this, and how they jump to the most extreme thing, like he should be expelled from med school. And I have to trust, apparently he is in a prestigious med school or med clinic where he's learning. So I have to believe that he is incredibly good at what he does. I have to believe that he is more knowledgeable than the average med student if he's able to get into a prestigious clinic that only accepts 3% of applicants. I'm assuming, this is just my just because I've been on the internet for almost 2 decades now, I'm assuming that he made that joke just for it to be a joke and just for it to be a viral moment. He did not make that joke because he doesn't understand female anatomy. I don't think he made that joke because he actually doesn't understand what goes on down there. I'm willing to bet he does understand it, and he just did it for the shits and giggles because, like I said before, I don't think the normal average person fully understands the woman vulva. I don't. I feel like maybe the average person can name 2 or 3 parts of the woman's vulva, And that's it. And I think that's why I'm making this video, is that there is a bigger picture here. And the bigger picture is that there needs to be more room for the average person to learn about their own anatomy, and for other people to understand that anatomy as well. I think that is the lesson here. A lot of people are trying to jump to another conclusion, that medicine undermines women and our bodies and our needs and our feelings. And I do think that is true. I do think that statement is true. I'm just struggling to see the connection between his joke and that statement. I'm going to be real. I guess the connection can be that he's not taking the female anatomy seriously. He's not taking learning about the female anatomy seriously. I guess you can make that conclusion. But again, I don't come to that conclusion because I believe that he made that TikTok in hopes for virality and not because he actually relates to it. So I'm a little on the fence about jumping to that conclusion, because I and what I mean by reactionary is because I watched a woman's video based on Nick Baumel and what he did and why she found it completely offensive and how he should be expelled from med school. And she compared his joke to a woman having her cells be used for medical studies and medical practices without her permission. And I guess the point was that women are always getting the short end of the stick in medicine. I guess that was her point, is that women are constantly being faced with mistreatment and demeaning behavior by men in medicine and just the medicine field in general. However, I felt like it was comparing apples to oranges, because I think what we have here is a misguided TikTok, and I don't think that is comparable to people in a medical field stealing a woman's cells and using it without her knowledge or permission. I think that's comparing apples to oranges. But that is my opinion. I think I can see how, like, we do need to have more respect for women's bodies and not always use it as a punching bag or a punchline. However, like I said before, I don't believe that the punishment should be expulsion. I think he needs to learn from this. He needs to grow from this. And I think mistakes are made. Even if I don't fully understand the mistakes that are being made by others, mistakes are made. And I think it shows more growth, compassion. And I think it's better to show more compassion and allow the person to grow rather than to completely punish them and take away what they've been working hard for. And what I mean by that is I think he learned from this. I think this can help him realize how much we need to take the female body more seriously in medicine. I think he learned from this, and therefore that would, in my opinion, that would make him a better doctor if he's taken this criticism seriously, if he's taken it to heart and he wants to learn and grow from this. This could actually make him a better doctor for women, because he now knows firsthand how serious it is to not undermine a woman's body and to not just play it off as a joke. So that can actually make him better rather than worse. I do believe in forgiveness. I do believe in compassion. I do believe in growth. And I think we inhibit growth if we're just willing to take everything away from a person after one mistake. I do believe that. So I can't say that I am on the side of completely expelling him. I want to make it known that the female body should be taken more seriously in medicine. We should not be undermined for our feelings, whether they be physical or emotional. We should not be written off. There needs to be more study and research regarding the female body, because I think, I could be wrong here and I could be speaking out of my butt as I say this, but I believe that a lot of the things they compare the female body to is studies based on the male body and not so much the female body. I think there needs to be more study and research on the female body so that we are treated better in medicine and in healthcare. I think we should use this instance as a way to fight for that rather than pinning all of this mistreatment from medicine and from healthcare onto him, and making him pay for that mistreatment and for that truth. But let me know what you think, and I hope that you enjoyed this video, and I will see you next week.